Incredibly, within 2 weeks of the disaster, United were playing again in the FA Cup. Sheffield Wednesday were the visiting team, but who would be the home team? Acting manager Jimmy Murphy made 2 quick signings and cobbled together an impromptu side, including survivors Harry Gregg and Bill Foulkes.
I was frightened, I was scared. I'd lost a lot of weight in the meantime from the crash and getting home and getting myself ready to play, in the match. It was less than a week. And Jimmy made me captain, which thrust some more sort of pressure on top of me, So parts of the game, I had a job, to keep the tears back as we're playing, And I saw Albert Clicksall, and I shook hands with him and we just tossed up the coin. He had a look in his eyes, as if he didn't want to play, as if, what are we doing here, He had that look, as if he wasn't enjoying it either.
Did you expect to win that night?
I didn't expect to win, but I felt that we had to win, myself, that we have to win this game, And I think Jimmy Murphy instilled it in all the players as well, that we have to win this match. And everybody went on the field thinking, well, we had to win this match. And then the crowd, as soon as we walked on the pitch, they confirmed it, that we had to win this match, because the atmosphere was electric.
59,000 fans at Old Trafford, with many thousands more there in spirit, as the new Manchester United skipper, crash survivor Billy Foulkes, led out his scratch team for the 5th round cup battle with Sheffield Wednesday. Crash hero Harry Gregg gets a well done from the fans. With 2 fit survivors of the crash, 2 experienced newcomers and 7 young reserves, United is a makeshift team, but an all-conquering spirit and purpose bridges the gap. The first goal, direct from a corner. Young Seamus Brennan scores in his first big match. The second half, United settling down now. Their passes are finding their mark just as this hour of trial produces the man. 18-year-old Seamus Brennan gets his second goal. Manchester United 2, Sheffield Wednesday 0. The almost continuous cheering is the tonic those young United players needed. With determination and courage, they're rising to the soccer heights. And another Busby babe, Alex Dawson, crashes in goal number 3. The hopes of soccer fans everywhere, yes, even in sporting Sheffield, are there in cold print. The victory cheers are warm and human, raising the hope of continued greatness. The new spirit invades the dressing room. Skipper Billy Foulkes and goalkeeper Harry Gregg join their young teammates in a victory toast to Manchester United, past and present.
Living in the present was all the survivors could do. Bobby Charlton made the quarter-final replay winner for Colin Webster against West Brom, and the impossible cup run continued.
Manchester kicked off in their semi-final replay at Highbury against Fulham in white shirts. A misty day with plenty of goals, and Dawson got the first for United. The Londoners, playing on a London ground, quickly showed they had the answer, and in 20 minutes, Stevens equalised. Back came United on the hard road to Wembley when Dawson got his second through Macedo's hands. One down again, but not dismayed, Fulham attacked. A nice run by Langley gave Chamberlain the chance to level the score, 2-2. What a match this was, with one goal following another in rapid succession. Just before half-time, Manchester got their third through Brennan. Changing ends with a goal in hand once more, United now resolved to make that Wembley visit certain. They were 4-2 when Dawson got his hat-trick. You might have thought the Londoners had now had it, but they didn't think so, and they recovered lost ground when Dwight scored. Could they force another replay? Manchester United said no to that. In the last minutes, they settled the matter with a Charlton goal. So they meet Bolton at Wembley.
First to congratulate Jimmy Murphy and the team, Matt Busby, who is now well on the way to recovery. 71 days after the air crash, he returned from Munich to his home in Chorlton, ready to take on his greatest challenge yet, with a determination few could doubt.
But his courage was amazing. I'd meet him at the front door when he came in, and he was on sticks. and we would go upstairs, and you remember the passage down to his office, and he would give me the stick, say, hold those. What are you going to do? And he would use the wall and walk, make himself walk, just using the wall rather than using the sticks to get more. And I thought that was amazing, amazing.
And there the cheers of the crowd as Matt Busby returns once again to Old Trafford and takes his usual seat, the manager's seat.
Inevitably, the club's cornerstone was present at Wembley for the cup final with Bolton, although it was Murphy who led out the team. With Dennis Viollet joining his boss in a valiant return to centre stage, fate seemed to be pointing its finger at an emotional triumph. It was a fickle finger, though. Nat Lofthouse infamously barged Harry Gregg, the ball and anything else in his way into the back of the United net for his second goal. United had no reply. But there was a new sense of perspective at Old Trafford which no one result could shake. A unique team had been taken away from a unique club. But in the hands of Matt Busby, now CBE, Manchester United would be rebuilt. Everything he'd wanted for his beloved babes would still be achieved.
I was out of work for about 3 or 4 weeks about 5 or 6 years ago, and my wife said I was a workaholic, so for the 3 or 4 weeks I got into this, and then that has transpired since then.
Is it an illness or is it a drug?
I think it's a drug, yeah. I definitely think it's a drug, yeah.
And
yeah.
you
but it
can't
won't kill me.
I was going to say, can you kick it? I was going to say.
No, and I can't sell it.
I mean, what's the enjoyment? What is the thrill of it all?
Well, when you're looking through the newspapers and you see something that's advertised, you think, oh, I wonder, can I get that? Sounds all right. Better get on the phone quick before somebody else gets in.
What's your prized item?
Ooh. I have a 1939 Gilchrist Cup final programme, which was United Air Team versus Manchester City Air Team. And it's in perfect condition, and I don't think there's many of them around. You always want to think that you might be the only one that's got it, but somebody else will have. But it's still nice to think you might be the only one that has it. I've got a cigar, which Charlie Roberts, when he left United, they opened up a tobacconist, had a range of cigars, which he called Duck Rebel, which was after the United half-back line of Duckworth, Roberts and Bell. You know, Looney Tunes, but to me, very, very interesting.
What's the most money you've forked out?
I think it's about £250 or £280 for one collection.
What does your wife say?
Says I'm a nutter. Looney.
Whilst the club's own youth and development programme remained fundamental to the Renaissance, Busby had to act in United's short-term interests, and flaxen-haired Albert Quicksall, one of football's real glamour boys, was quickly recruited from Sheffield Wednesday. From West Brom came wing half Maurice Setters, bought to replace the injured Wilf McGuinness. Later, in 1960, Busby called on West Ham to take their cultured Irish international fullback Noel Cantwell, soon to be a cup-winning captain with United.
Without the crash, I probably would never have gone to United, but I went to United after the crash, and that was basically to replace Roger Byrne and the rest of the lads.
The following summer, long-time target David Hurd signed from Arsenal. Goals were his stock and trade, including one in the 1962 FA Cup semi-final against Tottenham Hotspur at Hillsborough. It was a game the Reds lost 3-1 though. There was still a piece missing from the jigsaw. Dennis Viollet had moved on to Stoke City. Busby was looking for that dash of genius that Jimmy Greaves' return from Italy had given Spurs, and he was willing to pay for it.
Recovered from the Munich disaster, Manchester United will make all the running, say the prophets. So get the terraces ready for the fans. United have brought the great Dennis Law from Italy, a shot in the arm which may bring the cup or championship or both to Old Trafford. With Law up forward and 10 other top-notch players in every match, Manchester United reckon they're going places.
When I was in Italy, I was there about a year. It felt like 10, and Matt Busby came over, and it was really like being let out of prison. And to join a club like Manchester United was just, you know, I mean, I obviously never dreamt of it.
Free kick then to Manchester United. Oh, and this may be the first one. And it is the first one, and it's Law.
I didn't like playing up front. I mean, I wanted to play all over the field. And he said, and I said, well, boss, I said, I don't fancy that. He said, well, we ain't got anybody to score goals, you know, and we need somebody up there. We need, you know, we've got David Hare, but he needs our help, you know. I said, oh, well, and he said, and don't you come over the halfway line. I thought, this is going to be boring, this. I mean, I quite enjoy scoring goals, but I enjoy being part and parcel of the team all over the field.
Behind Law, a formidable half-back line was taking shape. Pat Creran signed from Celtic.
I was brought up in Glasgow, and it was always if somebody hits you, hit them back. Because you don't turn the other cheek, because if you turn the other cheek, they'll make your life a misery for the rest of your life. Everybody had their own little bit of toughness, and you could do things in the field and get away with it then that you certainly wouldn't get away with today, by tackles and talking to people and all that sort of thing. But there was a great deal of mutual respect in football in those days. If somebody kicked you, you kicked them back. That was the accepted norm. If you didn't kick them back, you'd lost the fight.
Alongside Creran, a local lad who'd never lost a fight in his life broke into the team. Norbert Stiles, our Nobby. Short in stature, short-sighted, occasionally short-tempered, but long on character and courage. Busby had nearly built his new team.
He always told you when he was dropping you. Certain managers will just put the sheet up and don't tell you, and they leave it to the coach or whatever to tell you. Something I always told you. If you could get past the referee's room on a Friday, you were playing. Because Matt was sat in there waiting to drop you.
He was fantastic as well, because he'd always say things like, yeah, you're not really playing as well as you can, son, are you? And you'd agree with him for some strange reason. And I was hoping somebody would go in and say, well, yeah, I'm playing great, what do you think? To see what his reaction would be to that.
Finished the training, got about 10 yards past, he calls me back. I know I'm ready for it now. Sits me down, he says, how do you think you're playing? I said, boss, I think I'm playing really, really well. I know now, because John's wired me up. He said, yes, you are. I said, yeah. He said, but do you not think you could be playing a little bit better? I said, yes, boss. So I'm leaving you out. He was amazing. He was amazing. Honestly, you could go in there, come out, and you'd be bowing coming out.
100,000 people up for the Cup. Gate receipts, £89,000, an all-time British record. In every way, a great occasion.
I wasn't a gambler, but I remember there were about 4 or 5 of the players, Noel Cantwell, Dennis, myself, Morris, we all put 100 quid in United to win the Cup that day. I mean, that was a lot of money in those days for a player. I mean, it probably was illegal to do it and against the law, but we fancied ourselves strongly.
David Hurd kicks off. Manchester United in red shirts, Leicester City in white. The Cup final has begun. Creran spots that inside left Dennis Law is well placed. Just watch how that Scottish wonder turns the pass to complete advantage. One good thing for United, Bobby Charlton's in great form. He shoots, it goes to Hurd, and it's in the net. At last, Leicester's persistence brings reward. United don't fully clear a free kick. City centre-forward Ken Keyworth scores. Tragically for Leicester, Banks fumbles. Ready to pounce on it is David Hurd. It's all over, the end of an exciting, very sporting game. United's captain, Noel Cantwell, leads his men up to the royal box. It's a moment of triumph for their manager, Matt Busby. Proof that he has most successfully rebuilt United. We shall never forget the Munich Air tragedy. Albert Cricksall being vocal. It's easy to imagine how excited they are, though the Cup has never been treated this way before. The whole world of English football congratulates Manchester United on a wonderful victory.
I threw the cup up in the air, threw up about 20 feet, and the commissioner came and said, excuse me, you don't do that with the FA Cup. I said, listen, I played for Ireland, the cricket. If I couldn't catch the FA Cup, I wouldn't throw it up there.
He wasn't part of that cup-winning team, but George's best part in it had already been mapped out. The 17-year-old waif from Belfast was about to change everything.
I would say one of the future great players. I hate making predictions about these things when a boy's so young, but this boy has got everything to make a great player. And some little time ago, Tom Finney thought he was the best young player I've seen for many years, and I agree with him.
I just went out and enjoyed it, and I just did the same as I did when I was a kid in the streets or in school or in the youth team. I just went out and kicked the ball around. That's what I enjoyed doing. I mean, to have your own boots in the boot room, that was the big step. You know, you'd arrive, someone else cleaned your boots for you.
The next 5 years were amongst the most exhilarating in the club's history. A ticket to see United in the mid-60s came with an entertainment guarantee.
To McCready. Best with McCready, and McCready's made a cut, and it's a magnificent goal. Best, what a magnificent goal.
Corner 2. Manchester United being taken by number 10, Heard. Has to watch for Law. It's a goal by Law. Charlton. Oh, a great goal.
Double Styles, the young white half. Going through on his own now with a great chance. Styles is there. He drives it. What a goal!
Away goes Charlton. Here comes David Heard. And Creran. A lovely goal.
You need a different blend of players and teams. You need defenders, you need attackers, you need midfield, you need fighters, you need ball control players, you need world-class players. Manchester United at that time had a bit of all that.
There's Law, and it's 3-0. Beautiful goal by Law. And Manchester United just carving this Arsenal team apart.
Sir Matt had always advocated that you went forward, you were good players, make sure that you perform to your best and don't be afraid to express yourself. And because of that, George felt that he could beat 6 or 7 people if he wanted.
Best. Styles. Trying to work a position. Best. Yes, it's there.
Dennis could try acrobatic overhead kicks and things like that.
Creran to Best. Oh, but that's Law.
I could maybe try to shoot from distances that was really stupid, you know.
And here comes Charlton. Oh, a great goal! And here we are on the last Saturday of the Football League season, and still any one of 3 teams can win the First Division Championship. But we feel that this is the game, Manchester United and Liverpool. Charlton making it with supreme accuracy to Connelly. Which again, Law, that's it. Charlton now to Connelly, and this second half, just like the first half, with Manchester United doing all the attacking. Creran and Law, number 2. And Creran. It's a goal! Yes, Connelly.
Champions again in 1965. The 60s team's first tilt at conquering the continent brought them up against the mighty Benfica of Portugal in the quarter-finals. In front of 63,000 at Old Trafford, United shrugged off the loss of an early goal to score 3 times. But Eusebio and Torres concocted a late reply, 3-2, and Benfica had never lost a European Cup tie in Lisbon.
It's a big thing to go over there. As you know, this Benfica side have played 19 in the European Cup, won 18 and drawn 1. And of course, they're a tremendous proposition. I think generally we are a better side. Player for player, and I think we're a better side. If our boys play as they can play, I feel we'll beat. I've always been European Cup conscious, Frank, and I still feel that way. I still want Manchester United to be the best team in Europe. And the only way they can be the best team in Europe is by winning the European Cup.
I never seen a team play, or played in a team that played as well as United played that night in Benfica.
The team was the best team in Europe then, no question.
We always played a 4-4-2 away from home, especially in Europe. I mean, at home we always played a 4-2-4, but we used to pull the two wingers back. First 20 minutes, play it nice and tight. Don't get over adventures. Keep the ball, pass the ball, keep it. Quieten the crowd. And that's what that was what the plan was in Benfica. But somebody would forget to tell George. You know, George just destroyed him. I mean, absolutely destroyed him. I mean, that's when George came of age.
Done with the free kick. Up goes Best, he scored! Best has got a goal for Manchester United. Here comes Best again. What a player this boy is, he's got another! What a player! This is Law. To Hurd, and it's Canelli. It's another one! This is going to be a rout. I don't think that Benfica have ever been demoralized like this. And here comes Creran to get number 4, yes. Comes the Manchester United jigsaw once again. Canelli. A lovely one to Charlton. This will be hit number 5, I should think. Oh, what a goal by Robbie Charlton. What a superb goal. That is the pink ribbon on this luscious box of chocolates that Manchester United have given us tonight.
3 up in 15 minutes, United sent shockwaves all around Europe with their electrifying performance, the club's finest performance in the manager's opinion. George Best travelled to Lisbon as a rising star and returned home a superstar, El Beatle, football's first pin-up boy.
But that was the start of the Beatle thing. You know, I was the same as all kids. I loved the Beatles, their music, and I wore the jacket and I had long hair. So, and every newspaper in Europe had the same sort of headline, El Beatle.
I like to think of myself, as a bit different than everybody else, because I'm more really like, say, maybe a pop star.
What happened was quite unique. It was just a coincidence that one of the best players Britain's ever produced grew up at the time in the 60s when the youth culture was starting to explode in this country.
Every day was like a party. If your best pal nicked your girlfriend, that was par for the course. That's the way it was.
Oh yeah, I think he got mobbed all the time, everywhere they went.
It was all good, clean fun, and that's the way we looked at it, and that's the way we treated it. This is the way it should be.
Well, he was just like a pop star. He came to play football, and he wasn't like any other footballer that we'd seen. So we thought, it's a bit of all right. Let's start a fan club for him. We got his phone number and we rang him. And it was the case of, you talk. And it was just a case really of saying, is it okay if we start a fan club for you? And he just sort of said, well, yes, I suppose so. And that was it. We'd got his blessing and we went ahead with it.
Before the European Cup semi-final of 1966, George picked up a cartilage injury. Busby gambled on his fitness against Partizan in Belgrade, but Best broke down during the first half and missed the second leg. The Yugoslavs scored twice in the second half. It was too much for United this time.
It's a goal! Oh, beautiful goal! Are United going to lose their third semi-final of the Champions' Cup?
That was the season that Bobby Charlton was voted European Footballer of the Year, an honour bestowed on all three members of the Holy Trinity of Old Trafford during the 60s. The incomparable Charlton was the club's greatest ambassador, a poignant and passionate link with Busby's first champion team. Best was the club's greatest artist, a one-man cult, gifted and graceful, with a rebellious streak that neither friend nor foe ever quite tamed. Busby's divine discovery. Law was the club's greatest showman, an instant hero whose daring and dazzle made him king of Old Trafford. Busby's star signing. Three of Britain's finest ever footballers in one team. It was a team of many talents, though, and in 1967 they won the championship for the second time in 3 years. The season Millwall goalkeeper Alex Stepney joined in the party.
Aston. Oh, a good bit of football by Aston to Preren. To Saturday, is this number 4? Yes.
You could only do it if you got good players, and we had good players in the side. I think the 67 championship probably gave us more joy than any, because I know we had to go down to West Ham. You get out there with a huge crowd at West Ham who always played good football anyway, so you always felt that you were in with a chance of doing something in it. And of course everything turned out absolutely perfect on the day. I think we actually played magnificent football, and I think if my memory serves me right, I think we beat them 6-1, which was a lovely way to win the championship.
Best again. Good flick that was by Best. There's Aston. Again the cue at the far post for the cross if he can get it back. Ran well for him. Best! Beauty! A real good goal!
The first abroad trip was Madrid, when we drew 3-3. I got drunk that night, and I don't drink.
There were echoes of Lisbon 2 years earlier, defending a slender one-goal lead in one of Europe's great football amphitheatres. Only this was the semi-final. This was the Bernabeu. This was Real Madrid. And this was a night of unlikely heroes.
I just decided to run from the back. I mean, I can hardly run. So I went on a jog from the back. Suddenly, somebody pulled away from George. George had been double-teamed all night and kicked out of the game. Suddenly, his cover was off. Threw the ball to George. George was off. Beat 2 or 3 players and was looking. He was looking. He got his head up and looked, and I was the only United player in the box. He sort of fainted, took the goalkeeper away, took the centre-half away, and then cut that fantastic pass to me. And all I had to do was just knock it in the opposite corner, just like Jimmy Greaves used to do, you know, opposite corner. And that was it.
I got it on there with a bottle coming out, but they could have hit me with. I told him, great, he wouldn't have bothered. I was so happy, you know. We'd got to the final of the European Cup. Marvellous.
Fate decreed that it would be Benfica again, and that the venue would be Wembley. Dennis Law put a brave face on it, but an injury-plagued season culminated in a knee operation which ruled him out and ushered local boy Brian Kidd in, a European Cup finalist on his 19th birthday. The stage was set. The long quest for the Holy Grail was almost over.
You were always aware of how important it was to him after what he had gone through at Munich. And it was as if we all felt that it was written that he had to be the man in charge of the first English team to win the European Cup.
There's Bobby Charlton.
I thought that it was already fated that we were going to win it. I thought that, no, this is for us. And we knew the Portuguese, we knew they were great players, but there was no way that they were going to beat us.
And there is Matt Busby, and how most people in this stadium, and I'm sure in the television audience, are praying for him at this moment. United have got Benfica on the run now. Sadler, Charlton, a goal! He scored! Charlton has scored! Torres, now to Grasa. Simoesh. Benfica are marked in the middle. This is Eusebio! Oh, what a save by Stepney! And what a sportsman Eusebio, when he could have won that match, to applaud Stepney like that. Now Best. Oh, he's got a great chance! So the crowd really giving Benfica the stick now as they get right behind Manchester United. And he's got the goal! also to his Aston. Charlton, another! He's got another! 9 minutes gone, and this must be it now.
As soon as the match was won, everyone went straight to him, you know, because he was the one that they wanted to pat on the back and say, like, and I think then everybody could really say, you know, that, well, that was something for the lads that had died in the first attempt. But it was a very emotional time.
Everybody wants to shout now.
It was the 1968 European Cup final, and I won my tickets through my football club. Georgie Best was my favourite player, and I think he was the first real superstar, really. It was just a magical moment for a sort of 13-year-old going, watching his football team in Wembley. And so it was a pretty strong attachment from there on in.
This was fantasy football, an appointment with destiny. The club and its visionary manager, who championed the cause of English involvement in the European Cup, had won the European Cup on English soil. His captain, who had survived with him the tragedy that had somehow fed their infatuation, had scored the goals that put the giant trophy in his hands at last. This was as good as it gets.